Greetings, most esteemed members of the guild! So, this month I am making videos instead of doing articles, just change things up a bit for our topic of the month, which is plague. So hopefully these will give you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of knowledge to play with when you're writing your article for this month's competition. Remember that's due at the end of May, so get writing. So today I'm talking about sweating sickness, also called the English sweat. Now you might be thinking of this guy, but I'm talking more about this guy. Sweating sickness was a disease that killed thousands and thousands of people in England's Tudor era. The disease was known by lots of different names, including Sudor Angelicus, Stoop Knave and Know Thy Master, and the New Acquaintance. Famous sufferers of the disease included Anne Boleyn, who survived, and Henry VIII's older brother Prince Arthur, who did not. So the symptoms of sweating sickness were pretty horrible. In the first stage, they included shivers, giddiness, headache, and pains in the neck, shoulders, and limbs. That first cold stage could last anywhere between 30 minutes and 3 hours. And then came a hot stage. Sweating, delirium, intense thirst, and a very rapid pulse. Towards the end, there was a general exhaustion and a desire for sleep. So say you did survive sweating sickness. Congratulations! You have built up no immunity to it. When it comes along again, it can hit you just as hard and possibly kill you. It was also really contagious. Bodies and bed sheets would be burnt, but even then that wasn't enough. It carried away whole families, decimated villages. Tudor doctors reported that a man could be merry at lunchtime and dead by supper. But don't worry, there was a specialist doctor, John Caius. He was considered the foremost expert in the disease. His account, a book or counsel against the disease commonly called the sweat, describes impure spirits in bodies, and the infection was caused by evil mists and exhalations drawn out of the ground. Obviously in Tudor England, they didn't have much of an idea about what this was. But here's the thing, we still don't know. It disappeared in 1551. Historians are still arguing about what kind of pathogen could have caused such a virulent, contagious, and devastating effect. So I guess all we can do is hope it doesn't come back. So, from a writing or world-building perspective, plagues are actually kind of interesting. They can bring conflict and tone to a scene, a location, or a story. And of course, those things will be altered subtly in the nuances by the kind of plague. Sweating sickness is a really interesting example of this. It kills super quickly. That makes it devastating, of course, but also hard to understand, because the patients are dead before you can do any study on them. It's also a very dramatic thing. If somebody falls ill, you don't have to wait long until the conflict really comes to a head. Sweating sickness was also super contagious. This means that it's a constant threat. Your characters are never safe. Historically, sweating sickness had loads of different names, and that's something we don't consider today. The measles is the measles, smallpox is smallpox. But this can really teach us about how people view the disease. And similarly, you'll get all sorts of really weird in-world theories if somebody doesn't understand what causes the disease. Think about Dr. John Caius and his evil mists from the ground. Now those theories might even be more terrifying or lead to more harm than the disease itself. And the real clinch is that it's so mysterious. Nobody knows what causes it, nobody knows how to cure it really, and that means that a bout could pop up at any time, in any location, and nobody knows what to do about it. And that adds a constant sense of suspense for your characters, for your location, for your story. Cheery. Well guys, hopefully that's given you some food for thought. Remember, we're swapping from written articles to video articles, just as an experiment. So please let us know if you like them, if you don't, and we're hoping they're a little bit easier to digest. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye!